we got into an area and we had a dog named, it was a German Shepherd. His name was King. He was our best scout dog we ever had. And King had alerted once, and they said, well, maybe he's got a bad reading or something. Because usually when he alerts, it's usually BC. Very seldom was he alert for rabbits or something other than BCs, but he alerted the first time, and they called the company commander and said the King had alerted. So the company commander, and this is one of the times my guys wasn't on point. We were back behind them. Well, the company commander told him on the radio, and I could hear my RTO. He said, y'all go ahead and push on and watch the dog, see what he does. Well, we won probably about another 100 yards or so, and the dog alerted again. And the trainer says, I think he's on to something. I feel like this is the second time, and it's real close together like that. I think King's had found something. So the company commander said, well, okay, I want all machine gunners up front. And I want to, and they called us up there, and he said, and then we already knew when we come up front, we set up, well, I was on one side of the trail, and it was a trail that we was following in the woods. We was on from both sides of it. We wasn't going down the trail, but we was working the woods on both sides of it. Well, when he alerted the second time, well, he put Steve on the right-hand side, me on the left, and other machine gunners on the other side. And then he had us to open fire, and our mission when he does that is to interlace fire, and we'd come along and catch each other, and we'd work back and forth like that, and it was a big ambush. We sprung a big ambush, and they started firing at us. We got something like 30 casualties real quick. 30 guys got hit real quick. So the company had to, it was only like 150 of us there, so the company commander says, I want French and Steve to keep here, get their assistance and stuff, to drop their barrels and extra machine gun ammunition, and let them keep the enemy from coming up that trail. And we're going to go back and find a place to clear where we get these guys helicoptered out that was wounded. So it's several guys wounded already. They retracted, and we stayed up there firing. So we sit there and we fired up our first barrel. When the barrel gets so hot, it'll sort of melt and it just turns red, and it'll be just like a match when you burn it. It'll start dropping down and it'll pick back up like that. But it's so hot, you got to get rid of it, because eventually it's just the bullets are gonna start locking up in it. So you got on the side of that M60, you got a little switch that you push up, a little lever, and you drop that barrel out, put your other barrel in, and our assistants have left our barrels for us. Well, we got our extra barrels, and then of course you got all this ammunition they leave for you. You have about 5 or 6 other guys helping you lump your ammunition. So they left the extra rounds and stuff for us. Well, we fired up another barrels. Our other barrels were starting to melt down, and so the sergeant, they sent back some. We could hear them blowing a clearing back there to get these guys out, and they were pretty good ways back behind us. They went back a long ways, and they started C4ing all these trees and stuff to get them out of the way so they could get the clearing. Well, when they finally come running down the trail and telling it was RTO and another sergeant coming down there, and at the time I wasn't a sergeant, I was just a machine gunner, and Steve was machine gunner, Steve West was. They hollered for us to retreat to start coming back. Well, there's a lot of debris blowed around that area and stuff, trees that blow down and stuff. So we turned around and we started coming back, and we had turned and ran about probably 50 feet or so, and Steve was off now over to my left when I'm turning around, going back, and I'm seeing him over there, and we're on the line running back, and all of a sudden he starts flipping and screaming and hollering over there like a chicken with a head cut off, and I thought, damn, he's hit, he's hit. So I started making my way across the trail. I had to go across the trail to get to him, to the other side there. And I finally worked my way over there, and he's still screaming and flipping and stuff. I said, man, what's going on with you? Well, I had dropped my hot barrel out of my gun that was already run. He didn't drop his last one out. And we hadn't been resupplied in a long time. We don't wear underwear or nothing. And his clothes was rotted off in front of him, and it was ripped right in the crotch. Well, he had hung one of those trees with that glowing hot machine gun, and he came back and came into his pecker there and burned a big hunk out of his pecker right there, and that's why he was flipping and screaming and stuff. And it was still, I looked over on the machine gun barrel, it was burning on the machine gun barrel. It was a little fire burning where it got into him, and that's what had happened to Steve. He got hung up in the bushes and got his pecker run on that thing. So he's got a big, even today, he didn't make it back, and he got wounded the last day he was there telling everybody goodbye. One of the new guys shot him on the last day with clean his gun or something, but he's got now a bullet close to one nerve in his back, and he's got a big hump burned out of his pecker.
I got an idea. You know what I was thinking?